Okay, so here we are in part two. We left off with the switch, trying to explain how to correctly wire that switch. What I have here is a simple multimeter that I got from Radio Shack a million years ago. If you put it on this setting here, which is the ohms, this will show you connectivity. So basically it'll show you connectivity, and those probes are touching. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Let me see if I can't get... I have a little bit of trouble being clear and concise and not putting too many words in. So, no, sorry. What I did is I hooked these alligator clamps up to the probe. Oh, where'd it go? Ah, stupid. Ah, there it is. Up to the probe like that. It just makes it easier for me so I can hold the camera, flick the switch, and do everything that I need to do. So, when you're checking this with your multimeter, you pick one of the middles, and then what you do is you pick one of the sides. Let me see. So, and then we hook this up. Now normally you'd just be holding the probe on there. Now you can see on the multimeter that there is no connectivity to that. So, boom, flick the switch. Now we know that this middle pole is connecting with this one when the switch is in this position. Now, if you check this way, you can see the connectivity goes away. Pow bang, connectivity. Now, that tells us that the current is going this way, not this way, if that makes any sense. Easy way to check that is, it's like, you can check it with the switch. What does it, let me, how do I want to put that? The switch is going this way, clicking this way and this way, so you don't want to set your wiring up perpendicular to that. You want it to be parallel to the way the switch goes. So what you have here is you have incoming voltage or incoming current into the middle, and then it goes through the switch off to one side. So here you have your black to your black, disc grinder, black to black, TW90 in this case. Switch back and forth like that, and you do that, and you can see I have the white in the middle and I have the red on the back side. So you have white in the middle of the incoming and so on. So if you look here, you want to make sure that you have let's say if you put your, I don't know if I said this already, that if you put black here, you want to have black and black. If you put white here, you want to have white and white. Red here, red and red. This is very important. You got to get this right. You don't get this right and you're going to have problems. It's not that difficult, especially with the multimeter. You can do process of elimination and get that figured out. Which way the current is flowing through that switch. So here's the next part. What you're going to want to do when you originally take this motor apart, you disconnect the wiring. You want to write everything down like I showed you before. So here's the U from the VFD. Here's the black wire. It goes to T2 and T8. So what does that mean? Here's my black wire. Now, this is actually coming from the switch, but theoretically, in practice, I guess it's coming from the VFD, provided the switch is allowing the current to come this way. So here's my black, here's T8 and T2. All these wires, the yellow ones, from the motor are all labeled. Now, just real quickly, right here, this is your wiring schematic for this Leeson motor. When I started this project out, I didn't know what any of those things meant. I went online, did the footwork, figured out what this stuff meant and how to wire this up. So do you absolutely need to know that? No, you can just make sure your wiring is the same as it was before you disconnected it, or when you added this motor. I hope I'm making that clear. So anyway, when you write all these things down, you're going to want, before you disconnect anything, you're going to want to check these out. So take your black, you open up your motor wiring junction, and you look, okay, well, here's my black wire. My black wire is connected to T2 and T8. My red wire is connected to T3 and T9. My white wire is connected to T1 and T7. And then there's other wires in there, T4, T5, and T6. Those are all grouped together. Now, when you have to disconnect all this stuff, you're going to want to know what it was when you try and reconnect it. So take pictures and write all this down. It's not that difficult. But if you keep everything the same as it was originally wired, so inside your VFD, if you put the black where the black was, the red where the red was, and the white where the white was, everything that you write down will be the same when you come back to rewire these. So your black is still going to go to the T2 and T8 or whatever yours happens to be. So that's the basic lesson on how to do this. I think I've covered everything. I hope I haven't confused the issue even more. If you have questions, just put them down in the comments section. I'll try and answer them. Don't bother subscribing. I don't care anything about subscribers. I may never put another video up. I don't know. Unless maybe you guys want me to show you how to wire in these forward and reverse. So you're going to want this forward and reverse for your disc grinder. So that's how that works. I think that's everything. It's not difficult if you really sit down and think it through. You know, if you're just really running current from these wires up through the switches, you know, all the black current is still going down the black wire. It's going through the switch, out the black wire, and to the motor. The motor is going to be hooked up the same way it was before you disconnected it, or if you added a motor, then you'll know which ones to connect. This is another reason why it might just be easier to get the exact same motor. You know what I mean? Because the T8 and the T2 that I showed you in this motor, because the motor's the same, are the same that are in here. So it's just going to streamline everything. Otherwise, you're going to have to figure it out. So again, this works for me. If yours is different, you may need to adapt. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, please don't do it. It's not worth it. Again, everything available. I'll see if I can't put in the description the kind of wiring this is and the switch and all that stuff. Job box, all this stuff is available at Home Depot. The only reason I didn't get the switch at Home Depot is because it's a triple pole, and I don't think they carried that. I don't remember if they did or not, but I also wanted a bigger amperage. Like I said, that's a 20 amp, so I don't think that they carried that. Again, there may be other ways to do this. There may be better ways to do this. I don't know. This works for me, and I just thought I'd share it because when I was looking, there was nothing out there that showed me the step-by-step nuts and bolts way to put this together. Okay, everybody, I guess that's it for me. Again, questions in the comments. I'll get to them if I can.